This is Photo Silkscreen. I've sort of touched on it in some of my other videos, but this is sort of more like an official video on Photo Silkscreen. I did do one showing you how to do it from home, and in that I used the hand-drawn stencil where I actually get ink, dip it in and draw onto the clear plastic or the overhead projection sheets, the acetate. Now I'm using photocopies. I found a lot of people actually have a bit of difficulty in using a nib pen, which will be a subject for another video. So how to use a photocopy to make a photo silkscreen with a bit of costing thrown in. This is almost all you need to know on how to make the screen. Now you've got to use plain paper copier transparency film, what I call overhead projection film. Some of the stuff, if you put it through the photocopier, will just really give you a bad day. Here's my black and white drawing, which I have now photocopied onto the transparency film. And I do two, because usually the toner is just not black enough. It's not as good as just painting ink straight on. I usually trim one smaller than the other piece, and that way I can attach it and give it double strength, so those two greyish tones will come together to form a black. Just pop this on a light box here, but you don't need a light box really, you just need to put it on a nice white piece of paper. I usually look for tiny little dots to line up to get it just right, and then sticky tape it into place using clear tape, of course. Get a screen where you've got plenty of room around for the image and also plenty of room for your squeegee to press ink either side. Get a coater or an emulsion scoop. Now, screen printing emulsion scoop. Got down here, I would have put coater, but anyway, yeah, sometimes they're called coaters. They look like they range between 10 and 20 bucks. It's not too bad. They do come in a range of different sizes too, so you might want to measure the inside of your screen. And make sure that your emulsion scoop will fit inside your frame, and make sure you've got a straight edge here, no nicks or bings or anything like that. If there's a bit of gunk there, you've got to clean it off so it's nice and smooth. Now have a look at the side here. You see that edge there? That presses up against your screen and gravity will make the emulsion go against the screen. Okay, photo emulsions. There's one here called Photec for oil-based inks, $68. Another one, Photec for water-based inks, that's $76. So there you got one for water-based inks, which would be good for t-shirt printing if you're using water-based t-shirt inks. Oil-based ones if you're using thinner based or terps based, but you can get some which will do both. Here we have the photo emulsion that we've poured into our scoop or our coater. Put it at an angle not quite 90 degrees, just like make the screen lean towards you a little bit. Now put it here. You have to rest that edge there against the screen and let gravity go there, lean it back a little bit, and a nice firm scrape, one scrape right up on the outside of the screen. Next you put it on the inside of the screen. So you've got one nice good scoop on the outside. Next you do inside the screen, wait for gravity to take effect on the emulsion, scoop it up, and when you get to the top, a little wriggle, you lean it back so again gravity makes it go back into the scoop, and that's a pretty good coated screen, nice and even. Next I'll put it in front of a blow heater, but not too close. If it's too close, the heat from the blow heater will actually cause the emulsion to cure. We don't want that just yet. So I turn this over a few times. Always got to rotate it so you haven't got drips forming. I've turned the light off there. It's dark-ish, but it's not actually a dark room, as in if if you're developing film for photography. It's just, yeah, you'd leave the door open a little bit like that, wouldn't matter. Semi-dark, it's not that photosensitive, it's just photosensitive under a powerful light. That's what makes it easy. You just put it in a dark room, you don't have to make a special dark room for this process. Now, to explain what we're doing, we put emulsion on the outside of the screen first. This is the substrate side, the side that hits the print or the paper. We've got our scoop here, and we allowed it to go on this side, scraping up on that side, and that pushed the emulsion through to the inside of the screen. So now most of the emulsion is on the inside of the screen. Next, we get our emulsion scooper here, and we scrape on the inside of the screen, and what that does is it pushes it to the outside of the screen. So now you got a nice thick bit on the back end of the screen, the substrate side, and the inside of the screen is got a very, very thin layer. On the inside of the screen here, you're constantly scraping your squeegee against, maybe for 1,000 prints, and so that's wear and tear, and the photo emulsion can't stand that. So the photo emulsion is actually on the other side, which just pushes against flat surfaces, against t-shirts. But if you used to put the squeegee on this side, you would start tearing away at the image and break up the stencil. So that's why it's very important to first coat on the outside, then coat inside, and so have most of it set on the outside. Well, now here's my setup. Very primitive that it is. This is a UV light, but you can use other light sources as well. I have foam. I have it about 40 to 50 centimeters away, so about half a yard away. I have a nice heavy sheet of glass. Now if you look here on the photocopy, you've got a shiny side, then you've got a side where it looks a bit grey, and that's the toner side, and that side is what you want to make contact with the emulsion. So emulsion side down, this is the only time you have to think back to front, so it should look back to front to you there. And a sheet of glass and foam underneath to make the contact really good. Now I'm going to set the clock. I'm going to make it about 13 minutes. If I was doing it on tracing paper, I'd probably have to make it 15 minutes. If I only had one layer of photocopy, I couldn't do it any more than 10 minutes. The UV light now is hardening up the emulsion, so when I go to wash this out, it won't wash out. Only bits that are going to wash out are the bits that are black. Take our foam away, put our screen, and we're going to pop it under the tap. I have here a little shower head. A garden hose does just as well, I found. A bit of control. So I wet both sides to start with. That softens it up. You can sort of see it taking effect straight away. All the bits where they were black is now getting softened by the water. The bits that have got the light on are now resisting the water. You might see a bit of soapiness at the bottom of your screen as you're washing, and that's the emulsion coming out. And really you should sort of wash for quite a while. You've had it under the light for a while, you can wash it for quite a while till that soapiness goes. And this might take a few goes. This is actually sped up, but it might take a good 5 minutes at least of just very gently washing. Just sprinkling in both sides. I use quite a bit of force with the water, that I hold it back away from the screen. If you hold it up to the light, you can sort of see how well it's gone. And you might realise, oh, there might be a little bit, it needs a bit more washing, and so you can sort of tell this way just by holding it up to the light. So there's a few bits there that need a bit more washing. So I'll give those a little bit of a rinse. I'm confident that everything that I want is there. Lay down some newspaper, and this is actually extremely important. You must lay down some newspaper and blot this out, because if you've got a bit of emulsion just floating around in the water and you're letting it out to dry, you get a drip in front of your image and it will actually wipe out a lot of your image. So it's very important to blot out both sides of the screen. So you look there, you see that emulsion there? Okay, it's important to get that stuff out. Now, just go sit that out in the sunlight and let it dry. Sitting it out in the sunlight is quite important too. You want a bit of UV light on it.